This is a Civil War, triumphs and tribulations. The North's successes. The North had a number of advantages in the Civil War, including a larger population, more factories, better transportation, and a strong financial system. These advantages allowed the North to produce more weapons and supplies, which helped them win the war. The North also had a strong navy, which allowed them to blockade the South and cut off their supply lines. This weakened the South and made it more difficult for them to fight back. The North also has better organized military, which gave them an edge in battle. The North's failures. The North was slow to mobilize its forces, which allowed the South to gain an early advantage in the war. The North also had difficulty coordinating its armies, which led to a number of costly defeats. These failures cost the North dearly in terms of lives and resources. The North also had an unprepared for the length and intensity of the war. This led to a lack of supplies and shortage of soldiers. The North was also hampered by the Lincoln decision in emancipating the slaves, which divided the country and weakened the Union support. The South's successes. The South had a number of advantages in the Civil War, including a smaller population, more experienced military leaders, and a better understanding of the terrain. These advantages allowed the South to fight off a larger and better equipped enemy for much of the war. The South also had better support from many foreign countries, including Britain and France. This allowed the South to purchase weapons, supplies, which helped them grow a strong sense of patriotism, which helped to rally behind the people of the Confederate cause. The South's failures. The South was unable to match the North's industry and financial resources, which led them to a severe disadvantage. The South also has difficulty coordinating its armies, which led to a number of costly defeats. These failures cost the South dearly in terms of lives and resources. The South was also hampered by its reliance on slavery, which divided the country and weakened the Confederate cause. The South was also unprepared for the length and intensity of the war, which led to a lack of supplies and shortage of soldiers. Conclusion. The North and South both had success and failures, because of the Civil War. The North had a large population, better resources, which allowed them to ultimately win the war. The South had a better understanding of the terrain and more experienced military leaders, which helped them fight off the North for a time. The North and South both had difficulties coordinating their armies and were unprepared for the length and intensity of the war. The North was hindered by Lincoln's decision to emancipate the slaves, while the South was hampered by its reliance on slavery. In the end, the North's advantages allowed them to win the war.